Hey everyone, welcome to Oceania 2084. I'm Danny Mendoza, he, him, and I am playing as the Big Brother character today. Now, there is no GM in this game. I will be facilitating as the person at the table who currently has the most experience with the game. But beyond that, there is a lot of shared responsibility in this game when it comes to building out the world. This is not an easy game. It is a really wonderful game that I highly recommend everybody watching this pick up if it feels like it's your kind of thing. If it's not your kind of thing, or if it is, but you're just not in the mood for it tonight, or whenever it is that you're watching this, be kind to yourself. Feel free to take a break, to watch any of the other stuff that we have, any of the other stuff that these wonderful people who are about to introduce themselves are in, or come back to this when you're feeling more up for it. This, like a lot of the more difficult in terms of the seriousness of the topics and content that we engage in, games that we play, is fundamentally about hope. So this is a game about autocracy and authoritarianism. This is the cover of the book, and it is based on George Orwell's 1984, among other things. It takes some liberties. It's set in more of a techno-feudalistic, post-liberal democracy era that reflects more of where we're living in now than what George Orwell was able to reasonably foresee in the 1940s, right? So keep that in mind. This is not a show to watch for escapism, but this is a show to watch if you're passionate about difficult stuff in the world and you want to watch people embrace hope in the face of autocracy and tell it to go fuck off, right? In whatever ways they feel they're able to while living under its boot. Before we get into a bit more details about the game, which we are going to be doing thing because there's a new system for everybody who's playing it. This is a new game to all of you who are watching it. We're going to be teaching the game as we go. We're going to do a little bit more of that tonight and in the next session that you'll see after this, then throughout, but we will be doing it to some degree throughout. Before we get into all that stuff and then get into the proper gameplay, I would like everybody here to introduce themselves. Now, we're going to do this a little bit differently than we do normally. We are not doing outros. There are not going to be longer plugs at the end of this because it wouldn't feel right. So everybody's going to introduce themselves at the top. They're going to say one place that you can find their work. And we are going to be sharing somewhere around this video, below it, to the side of it. We're going to be sharing links that you can click on to see their work directly, go to their work, be able to follow their stuff. Please go ahead and do that because they're awesome and their work is worth it. With that said, we are going to go in the following order because I don't know what this is going to look like in the eventual overlay, but this is what I'm looking at in front of me. We're going to go Tall Halfling to Ran, to Fish, to Anna, to Andy. Take it away. Oh, and I'm sorry. Let me tell you what you're going to be saying. Your name, your pronouns, your character name, your character pronouns. You're going to be telling us one place that we can find you, and then you're going to come back around to just tell us a little bit about your character sheet. So you're going to tell us where your emotions are when you start the day, what your corporate and personal values are, which ones you like and don't like, how much stress you have, and who your trusted characters are. You're going to do that as quickly as you can by just listing off the stats. And then I promise everybody watching at home that I will explain what all of this means as we play. But I want to give everybody a grounding in what this is, and this is the beginning of that, including for everybody at the table. It's important that when you list out your trusted characters, you could just say one brief thing about each of them so that people know if they end up at the table deciding to bring them in, if they might want to play them or not. Because for the people watching at home to know, I don't play those NPCs. I play some NPCs. But the NPCs known as trusted characters are played by the other people you see in front of you, right? So with all that said, Steve, take it away.
I'm Steve, Tall Halfling on the socials. I am playing Calahan Waters. We both use he, him. You can find me at tallhalfling.card.co. Why there's a second R, I have no idea. As for Calahan, he starts the day with, out of 6, 5 in anger, 4 in apathy, 3 in despair and sadness, and 2 in fear and guilt. He's sorry.
No worries. Corporate values and personal values would be next up.
Yep. Yeah. Just zooming in to make sure I know what's good and what's bad. He's on board with selflessness and good think. Not quite so fond of conglomerate loyalty. As for personal values, things he likes: me before you, generosity is rewarded, family first, strangers bring dangers. He's not quite so fond of might is right, tell no lies, leave no one behind, or silence is violence. Anything else you'd like to know?
Just the stress and your trusted characters, real quick. And yes. I don't need ages, just like their name, their class, and one thing about them for the other people at the table to know.
Okay. As a conglomerate official, I start with stress 3. Trusted people in my life. My moms, Mama Jan and Mama Barb, my brother Thomas, those are all family. My wife Suzanne, who is not family, we'll talk about that later. And a musician named Whistler, and a scoundrel, I guess is the best word, named Zephyr.
Copy that. That's perfect. Ran, go ahead and take it away.
Hi, my name is Ran. I use she, her pronouns. You can find me by looking at my website, which is ranxia.info, where you will find most of my projects as a theater director. I will be playing Sinead Mullen. Also, she, her pronouns. She's 27 years old and a TV broadcast personality working for the Minitrue. Starting out of the day, she has 5 in anger, 4 in sadness, 3 in fear and guilt, and 2 in despair and apathy. She considers conglomerate loyalty to be bad, selflessness and good think to be good in terms of corporate values. In terms of personal values, she thinks that she adheres to the values of me before you, leave no one behind, and generosity is rewarded, as well as silence is violence as a good value. And for the negative value, she thinks might is right, tell no lies, family first, and strangers bring dangers, being bad. Trusted characters. She's got Esther, who is 41 years old. As her big sister, she's a pro character. She's got Lupita Liu as another pro who works with Esther. Her husband's name is Hamish James, who is a bureaucrat. These are her 3 family members. She's got, oh, I forgot to fill in the final trusted character. Give me one moment. Okay, so Aliana, 17 years old, pro. That is her intern. There is a character named Zola, who is another conglomerate official, who she is a bit of a frenemy situation. The only friend she really has in the conglomerate official circuit. Eloise Blue is a bureaucrat who she sometimes do business with, and gives her information when she is doing her reporting duties. And last but not least, Orlando, a non-binary person who is her neighbor. He is a. They are a bureaucrat.
Love that. Thank you so much. Fish. Oh, you're muted.
You're muted.
Muted. I'm double muted and didn't realize it. Jumping into
worries.
this strong. I'm Fish. I'm playing. I'm Fish. I go by Fishfinlee on the interwebs. I sing, I draw, I play games. It's a fun time. I'm fishfinlee.card.co. That's where you can find literally everything up to all of my projects, all of the everything. Go do that. I go by they them pronouns. I am playing Four, who also goes by they them pronouns. Four is a walking security camera, for all intents and purposes. They are currently have a 5 in fear, a 4 in apathy, a 3 in despair and sadness, and a 2 in anger and guilt. As far as their values go, they think conglomerate unity and good think is good, and that selflessness is bad. As for their personal values, they think me before you, tell no lies, silence is violence, and strangers bring dangers are good, whereas might is right, leave no one behind, generosity is rewarded, and family first are all bad. They're at a stress level 2. They are a bureaucrat, and that is them. Their trusted characters are their family is Seven, who is also a walking surveillance unit, and Tutu, aka 22, who is another walking surveillance unit. You're starting to see the pattern. As for their non-family trusted characters, we've got Clarice, who is a prole, who is a student, who's just kind of working and surviving and doing their best. Winston, who is a conglomerate official who supervises the surveillance units like 4 and 7 and 22. Simi, who is also a conglomerate official who helps keep the dictionary updated for all the banned words. Viola, who is a bureaucrat who wants to be like their cousin Winston and is aspiring to being a conglomerate official, and Silas, who is a prole who works in dispatch and transport.
Love that. Thank you. Anna.
Hi, everyone. My name is Anna. I use she, they pronouns. You can find me everywhere across the web at locallvluplady, but really find everything on my beacons page. Today, I'm going to be playing Cynthia Hillcroft, who uses she, her pronouns. She is a bureaucrat. She works as a secretary clerk in an office building. For her emotions, she has a 5 in fear, a 4 in anger, a 3 in sadness and despair, and a 2 in guilt and apathy. For her values, her corporate values, she believes that conglomerate unity and good think are good, and that selflessness is bad. For her personal values, she believes that tell no lies, generosity is rewarded, family first, and strangers bring dangers are good, while might is right, me before you, leave no one behind, and silence is violence are bad. Because she's a bureaucrat, she's starting with a stress level of 2. And for her trusted characters, we have her mother, Margaret Thompson. She is a 65-year-old prole. Her younger sister, Carolyn Thompson, who is 25 years old and also a prole. Her other trusted characters are Charlie, who is a 41-year-old bureaucrat. He is her neighbor, as well as his wife, Denise, who is 40 years old. She is also quite close to Jericho, who is a 35-year-old prole that she grew up with, their childhood friends, and Ariana, a 29-year-old bureaucrat who she is currently training to be her assistant at the office she works in. Anything else that I need to specify, Danny?
Nope, that's all good. And last and very much not least, Andy.
Okay, hi, my name is Andy. My pronouns are they, any. You can find me online using my link tree under Andy Sinead. Tonight, I will be playing John Smith, real name Felipe de Luna. He uses he, him pronouns. He is 52 years old. He works as a collateral signatory. He is perpetually blindfolded as part of his work. He has a 3 in trust. His emotions are a 2 in anger, a 3 in sadness, a 5 in fear, a 4 in guilt, a 3 in despair, and a 2 in apathy. They believe that conglomerate unity is bad, but selflessness and good think are good. They believe that tell no lies, leave no one behind, generosity is rewarded, and family first is good. And they believe that might is right, me before you, silence is violence, strangers bring dangers are bad. Their trusted characters are their spouse, Anne Smith, real name Maria de Luna, their son, Antonio Smith, who are both bureaucrats and work in a similar field but are not collateral signatories. And his 2 other trusted characters are Billy and Marcella, who are both proles that work as paper runners and are whose job it is to deliver papers between places. But as part of that, they are not allowed to learn how to read or write.
Love that.
Those are my characters.
Thank you. And I am, as mentioned before, playing Big Brother. That puts me narratively in charge of the various ministries. It puts me in charge of the larger world. It puts me in charge of a class of NPC referred to as strangers. It puts me in charge of everything bad that happens to all of your characters. I am going to be rolling over here as much as I want, really. And I'm going to be doing it without telling you what I'm rolling for or what the outcomes are the entire time. There are going to be various triggers that you are going to be giving me that are going to relate to these rolls. You will not always know what they are. What I will tell you that you will know is that we are starting this game with a banned word. And that banned word is share. And that banned word is not only banned at the level of the fiction. So if you, real people at the table with me, say share in any context during any amount of time that we are here, it's not counting what you just did, but it will count your intros moving forward. You will be giving me an opportunity to roll. That is what the banned word means. So it's in your best interest to not say the word share in character or out of character anytime that we are here playing this game. Anybody have any questions about that? Okay. Really quickly, so we can get into the gameplay, I'm going to give a little bit of baseline information here. The world of the Conglomerate. So the superstate of Oceania is not a country, but one of 5 giant corporate entities that make up the Conglomerate. Under the Corporate Responsibility Accord, human rights have been entirely abandoned in favor of shifting, overlapping local markets governed by public wants and corporate productivity. Notice I say public wants, not public needs. In the Gray City, the skyline is dominated by 4 monumental pyramidal ministries. Mini-Pax, the Ministry of Peace, which orchestrates endless warfare to exhaust industrial surplus without raising your standard of living. Mini-Truth, Ministry of Truth, which manufactures official lies. Mini-Plenty, Ministry of Plenty, which manages rationing. And Mini-Love, the Ministry of Love, which administers state torture and the persecution of dissidents. Now, to make sure that everybody at home understands what I'm saying when I say that, if you're not familiar with the book, or you might assume we're not going to be doing that, we will not be doing physical torture. There will be psychological torture. It will exist in a cordoned off context called an interrogation, which we will be saying when an interrogation is occurring, and then it will be me and one other person in that interrogation at a time. That interrogation might be third person. It might be first person. It might be a mix of both. It is going to lean into the comfort of everybody at the table. We will let you know before it is happening. You can skip it if you would like. It will exist. Monitoring your every move is the Unoverse, an inescapable neuromorphic AI digital layer of virtual and augmented reality that serves as the inescapable water all citizens swim in. Now, in relation to that, it is really important that I mention that the one thing I didn't say that I had control over earlier, that I do have control over narratively, absolutely, is your devices. Your characters have devices on and around them, sometimes as a part of them, that never turn off. And if you try to disconnect them, there is a free move you can use to do that. It is not going to be clear to you whether or not that succeeded. Maybe it did. Maybe it didn't. I will not necessarily tell you. You are going to have to take the risk, assuming that it did or didn't, according to what feels right to you in a given moment. Any questions before I discuss a little bit about realism, sci-fi, and the limits of player actions? Okay. Oceania 2084 is meant to be played with the idea of realism at the center of our imagination. Whenever your character does something, imagine the act and consider if it feels like something within their grasp, if it is something that they realistically can do in this moment. If not, maybe consider what would make it possible for them and try to achieve that instead. The element of sci-fi is found in the world building and the omnipresent nature of Big Brother and the Conglomerate. It is also important to point out that in several parts of the world, this game is portraying reality to a variety of degrees. This game is a tool to talk about and inform our ideas about what oppression can be, how authoritarianism works, and allowing us to understand it more thoroughly. It is a warning and a call to action aimed at making sure that we don't allow our real world to fall completely into this exact sort of authoritarian dystopia, at least any more than it already has. When the players yourselves encounter technology that would be considered sci-fi, you should explore the concepts through play. In essence, one can say this is a stark contrast to the regular power fantasy of traditional gaming and leans into social realism and bleak everyday lives. With that having been said, some of the more high concept ideas that we have for your characters fit that perfectly. You do not need to lean out of the sci-fi embrace. You simply need to make sure that your character's actions are grounded in whatever you consider to be realistic within the fiction we've constructed. Any questions about any of that? Cool. All right. So we are going to move into some rules for dystopia. True liberation of the world is not possible. There's no grand victory or systemic rescue. You play to explore, not to win. There are no heroes here. You play to witness your character's individuality and spirit under pressure. We are what we leave behind. The world doesn't care if your character dies. Leaving a physical trace your only legacy. And the main one you're going to want to think about is twofold. Main two. One is your social network, your connections to other people, and two are the notes that you write. Now, here it's important to say there is official propaganda in this world stating that, hey, paper's bad for ecological reasons. The reality is they think that paper is bad because they cannot as easily observe what you are doing when you are writing on paper. So you all can theoretically access paper. You're going to have to talk about how and why you access that paper and something to write on it with. You're going to have to think about when and how you're going to take the risk of doing that, given that everywhere, including your homes, your bedrooms, your bathrooms, literally everywhere, has devices, meaning that I can observe you unless you take steps to try to get me not to, and then I might still be able to observe you. So whenever you take the risk to write a note, you're doing that with that in mind. Do with that what you will. The reason you would want to write a note is because you get to create narrative truth by writing a note. Let's say I introduce a stranger or you introduce a stranger that I play, and you want that person to be on your side. One way to do that is you write a note that says so-and-so is sympathetic to our cause and will help us out. You sign it and you give it to somebody else. You give it to another resistance character, you give it to a trusted character, and it becomes narrative truth. You get to use that once, and then it expires. You don't have to take an act in your action economy to pass that note. You can just pass it. You don't need to ask me for permission. In fact, you don't have to ask me for permission for most things, as I will get to in a moment, because there are no resolution rules here. Before we get there, though, friendship and true connection challenge power and make resistance possible. To portray dystopia, we do not have to describe every gory detail, so we won't. Physical conflict is a rare and brutal occurrence, though systemic violence is constant, and it is important to note that it is mostly one directional, meaning physical violence you are capable of doing. There is a free act that you can take in there to engage with that. It is highly risky, as you can imagine. Most physical violence will be coming from me. And there will be a lot of situations where I will not even need to resort to physical violence because the overwhelming asymmetry of force in this dynamic is so omnipresent and staggering in nature that I don't need to get violent to get you to do what I want. You will do what I want because you're going to be scared, because that's what it's like to live under autocracy. And when you choose not to do that, you will be facing the consequences of that in a way that will hopefully give us all hope above table. Big Brother sees you. Big Brother sees you everywhere that you are. Act accordingly. You are resistance players. Each of you takes the role of citizen and dissident. You go to work, try to manage your stress, try to carve out a meaningful private life. You maintain narrative control over your home, your workplace, and your trusted characters while role-playing each other's trusted characters. Big Brother is a single player who embodies the hostile fascist state, the thought police, and every stranger in the world. Big Brother doesn't act as a traditional GM. I play a strategy game of resource management, silently tracking your actions, rolling hidden surveillance dice, and spending accumulated points to buy consequences. I will have points on each of you individually. Some things I have to use your points. I will also be able to use them as a pool. Some things I can pool together. It's really important that you know every stranger can be befriended through an act that you can take for free in this game. It's a risky act. If you befriend them, they become one of your trusted characters. If they're one of your trusted characters, those are your backup characters. You're probably all going to have at least one character die, probably be vaporized, which means their name will become a banned word and they will be erased from history. When that happens, you're going to pick up another one of these trusted characters and you're going to play them. It could be one of the trusted characters you start with or one that you pick up. Because of that, you're going to have to build a character sheet for them. That means you're going to have to put in a deviation for them. What that means at the level of the design of the game is that every single person in all of Oceania has a deviation. The people who are shitty, the people who you don't know if you can trust, the people who you want to be able to trust, the people who you hate. Everyone who you encounter has a deviation. And that is an act of hope at the level of the design of this game. Because if everybody has a deviation and everybody can be a resistance character, everyone can be redeemed, everybody can be engaged with, everyone can contribute to making this world better rather than worse. So please keep that in mind. Finally, with regard to proceduralized paranoia, there are no resolution rolls. If your character attempts an action, they simply succeed. There are no pass-fail dice rolls at all in this game for anything outside of value tests, which don't have to do with whether you do the thing you want to do or not. They have to do with whether or not you are successful in suppressing your emotions as you do it in a way that allows you to pass scrutiny. So agency and consequence is at the center of this game. A dice, myself, will not stop you. If you decide to kill someone, you simply will kill them. And then you will have to live with the consequences of it, as will we all. Suspicion economy. Every action generates suspicion points. If I roll on it, every thought crime. Big Brother rolls hidden dice. I add your trust level to determine if the state's AI or local strangers report your thought crime. It's way worse for you if it's the people there who report it rather than the AI. There's a lot of math behind that. You don't need to know, but you should know that that does matter as a distinction. You won't know which one is happening. What that means is for those of you who are conglomerate officers or officials, you have trust 5. So I am rolling, I can tell you this much, 1d10 plus 5, plus whatever other modifiers might apply to get to the number I need. For the bureaucrats, it is 1d10 plus 3 because you're all starting as level 1 bureaucrats and you have 3 trust. If there were any proles starting here, it would be 1d10 plus 1. So as you can see, the lower you are in the hierarchy of this, the less likely it is that I actually am able to see what you're doing, the more likely you are to get away with things. There's a lot of other stuff in there that we'll get to as we get to. I already told you about the notes. Last things we need to do is city atmosphere for this. I'm going to roll a d10. Okay. That is silent, empty, and solemn. I rolled a 2. So we are going to be in a city that to all of you on this day, among the many things it can seem to be, is silent, empty, and solemn. Now, last thing I will mention before we get into the first phase is that at the end of this, wherever we are, we may not get through all 6 phases of the game tonight, and that is okay. We will do a post-game debrief. Anyone who is comfortable being a part of that will be a part of it. It is not compulsory that you be a part of it. We are going to be formally de-rolling, going through a 4-step process to take us out of the magic circle, back into ourselves, and manage the bleed that we may feel. Before we get into the actual gameplay, does anyone have any final questions for me? We begin with the morning phase. In the morning phase, each of you have 3 acts that you are able to, up to 3 acts that you are able to engage in. And those 3 acts can be taken together or in different moments if you don't want to do them all at once. You don't have to do all 3. I will note that you are in your leisure time right now. So if you have the handouts open for this and you look at the page that has free acts on it, 2 things are notable, 3 sort of, but 2 primarily. For the morning, you can wind down if you would like. It is not a thought crime because you are in your leisure time. If you wind down, you are able to remove 1 stress from the amount of stress that you have right now. It will end your morning phase to do so. If you do anything else before then, you have up to 3 acts. Because all of you are COs or bureaucrats, you do have enough stress that every time you take an act, you have to roll a die. It is not to see if you succeed or fail. You are rolling that die because you need to hope you don't get a 1. And if you get a 1, that is a fumble, which then causes me to intrude on your narrative control, and I have to take a reaction. I can take a reaction anytime I want. I have to take a reaction when you roll a 1 on your stress die. So for the COs, you're going to roll 1d6 for every act you take until you lower that stress. For the bureaucrats, you're going to roll 1d10 for every act you take until you lower that stress. Anybody have any questions before you get into whatever you're going to do with your morning? Last thing I ask is when you describe what you're doing with your morning, I would like for you to describe where you are, and I would like for you to describe what you look like. Anybody now is able to start. I'm happy to help facilitate, but formally, you all can just do your acts until you're done with the morning, and then I move us to work. I don't actually have to do anything else unless you bring in a stranger, or I have to do a reaction, or I choose to do a reaction.
I do have one question. You said that so winding down ends our current phase. Are we able to do other actions before we wind down?
100%. Yeah, okay. But every time that you do that, you're a bureaucrat. So you're going to be rolling 1d10 on 1 or 2 actions. Then if you wind down at the end of that, you're going to be doing that. You are going to roll 1d10 on the wind down because it'll kind of kick in at the end of that. But then when you're done with that, you will go down from 2 stress to 1 stress. So you will still have to mark that box for 1 stress, but it says no dice. You won't have to roll anymore unless you gain more stress.
Okay. Cool.
I can pick someone, but it's a little more in the spirit for you all to decide who you want to have go first.
I think for the morning thing, and I'm trying to review the free acts to see which one of these things apply, and you can also tell me.
Sure.
I think maybe it is some sort of Universe meeting that this would apply to, or work.
Okay.
I think work would apply, but it will end this phase, so maybe not. But what she's doing is everything that it's something that she does every single day in the morning. which is the script review of her work in the evening. She would receive every single morning the banned words of the day, the banned subject of the day, what kind of topics she needs to talk about that evening. She will meet with the censors, fact adjusters, trend analysts, and engagement specialists, and they discuss which shortages are now voluntary conservation efforts. If there have been riots, are we going to talk about it as community celebrations? Which disappeared dissidents are now relocated for opportunity? And talk about the new slogans that have tested well in focus groups.
I love that. This is my pitch to you for that.
Sure.
Notice someone into Universe meeting. I like flavoring it that way. And then you still have one act left over if you want at the end to either wind down or work.
Sure.
Your choice.
Great. Sounds good.
Perfect. So notice someone. There you're going to be meeting, if it's okay, with just one person, because technically rules is written you have to notice someone for every stranger you introduce.
Yeah.
But what I'll do to make it a little bit easier for us in this case is I'm going to have you notice someone to introduce them, and then I will take a free reaction to introduce various other strangers to the meeting.
Yeah,
and that's
sure.
how we're going to populate the meeting that you're going to have. We will then go into the Universe meeting. So for notice someone, describe how your character notices a shared character in their current location. In this case, that is a stranger that you are bringing into being. So you are welcome to describe them.
Danny, what happens when you say the banned word?
Oh, that would be cheating on my part. So I'm not rolling on me saying share. I can say share all day. That's the nature. That's the nature of this too. It's rules for thee and not for me, right?
Great.
So I get to share whatever I'd like all the time. But if you say share under any circumstances, then I do this.
That's great. So to talk a little bit about what my character looks like, she is immaculately dressed, immaculately makeup application, kind of a bobbed hairstyle like I'm wearing right now, silvery, just reaching underneath her ears. Always the latest trend, always the latest approved trend of what reflects the conglomerate value. She is about 5'9" ish, but she always wear well polished pumps. So walking about, she's a little bit intimidating and a little bit impressive, more than a little bit, I should say, and always have this very practiced and disarming smile on her face. There is a beauty mark just right here, which is it draws some unwanted attention, but this is a burden she has to bear. I think the stranger she notices is someone who has been taking notes during the meeting when there shouldn't be notes being taken.
Okay. So this person is about as unremarkable as you could imagine. The most average looking man that you've ever seen in your entire life. Middle-aged, mid-build, mid-height, almost out of a factory made to be unremarkably unobservable, right? And is taking notes, notably both on paper and digitally. Most of the notes are digital, but every so often someone will say something and they will write something down on a piece of paper. This is seen in an Universe meeting that is happening as a sort of teleconference, if you agree with that, would be my understanding, so that you can be seeing what they're doing physically in their own space. So I will be playing this person. You created them. Would you like to give them a name?
Ezra.
Ezra. I will be playing Ezra. I am taking a reaction to introduce another 8 people into this scene. So you are meeting in a group of 10 in total. You, Ezra, and 8 other people yet to be named. They are all strangers, so they'll all be played by me if they're played at all. And during the course of this universe meeting,
So Danny, can I actually shift this a little bit and say maybe observed
Sure.
behavior could be applicable a little bit more here?
100%. You don't have to use the universe meeting move or like act there if you don't want to. We can just have this be happening. The notice someone was enough to introduce them to the scene. I don't read the rules as though you need to use something to establish the nature of the call. I think that that's fine. Observe behavior. Describe how your resistance character observes what a stranger that is already in the current location is doing. Observing a higher up is a thought crime. Would you like to observe behavior?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's not higher up, I think.
Sure. Go ahead and describe how you observe the behavior with a special focus on what you're interested in knowing, and I will give you the information that you seek.
Yeah, I think I would like to very subtly walk around this meeting and try to observe what it is that he is noting. And I want to find out whether or not our values align.
Love it. You are in a form of universe that is essentially a holographic second life that you're able to enter from your home, as did everybody else, the full contents of which are projected into this holographic universe. So you are able to see what is being written down if you walk around in the way that you did, and you're able to walk around that space in this holographic space that way. You look over this person's shoulder and effectively are able to look at that. And while you do that, you see that every time that this person writes something down on a piece of paper, they are putting a tick mark next to someone who said something or someone who didn't. It actually isn't consistent. You see it happen twice while you're over their shoulder. And sometimes it's the speaker, sometimes it's somebody else in the meeting. But they are clearly tracking something during the course of that. All of the notes that they're taking digitally are the official minutes of the meeting.
Is there anything I could deduce based on the who they are tracking, or if whether or not they are paying attention to people who are potentially committing thought crimes, or whether or not they are picking up people who are potentially of a spirit of resistance?
Absolutely. You are able to easily surmise that this person is either a member of the thought police planted into this situation, or they have to, or they feel the need to be able to narc on other people, right? What they're looking for is potentially finding people who are committing thought crimes who they could report. They don't technically have to be a thought police member to be able to report them. But that you would just know from having existed in this society is what that most likely would mean. It is possible that they're tracking something else. That might be more dangerous if that's the case. You wouldn't be able to tell off of this definitively. But yeah, safest guess is they're either thought police or they are just doing it for the love of the game. You have taken 2 acts now. I need 2d6 rolls, please.
Yeah.
And if either of them is a 1, please let me know.
Okay. I rolled a 6 and a 1.
Great. So with that 1, one of the... I'm going to start slow. Sure. One of the other strangers, one of the ones, the person who you noticed had the most marks on them.
Mm.
They're relatively new there. You don't even know their name. They have a very strong emotional reaction in the moment. And you notice, because of the position that you have, that they're having a very strong emotional reaction to Ezra. They seem to have also picked up, as best you can surmise, that Ezra has ticked down while having flicked their eyes over in their direction more often than other people in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And their reaction to that is to start sobbing. So in the middle of this meeting, they start sobbing. What do you do?
I will say out loud, what is this person's name? If there is any sort of universe name tag thing going on.
The universe name tag says that they are Wilhelm.
I will just say, Wilhelm, it is admirable that you are so moved by the latest development of Mini Plenty. All of the advantages that we have been able to establish has been most welcome. But I would say you are starting to disturb the meeting by your emotional outburst, and that is not appropriate. Please, if you wish to share your enthusiastic embrace of the conglomerate, you could send me a memo and I will include your thought in the evening report. But other than that, while I appreciate your loyalty, this is quite unnecessary. Essentially, I'm trying to kind of protect him a little bit.
Sure, that makes sense. You are so. To be clear
Mm-hmm.
about how I read this, are you taking your third act of the morning?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Cool. Okay, so the easiest way to do that, if you don't have a specific class act that you're using, is going to be for us to use an undefined act for this, which means it's basically a catch-all for all the things we're going to do, unless you're
I
looking to
thought,
befriend this character
um,
or
yeah,
create create a show affection.
I think I was gonna do hide something.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like that. That is an unusual use of hide something, and let's do it. So, uh, you described how you hide something in your surroundings. You're immediately successful at it, and so you're able to get this person to fully calm down. They mask goes back up. They are short nod from Wilhelm, and as though it had not happened, still a bit red in the face, red in the eyes, a little bit wet. They don't even want to move to get any more of the wetness off of their eyes because they don't want to draw more attention to their breakdown. And they are returning to their work as though nothing else happened. Now, that is your morning, so you will not be able to do work or leisure time or anything else as a third act because those are your three acts.
Good. I
Did you
rolled
roll a
4.
Thank you very much. Before we move on to the next person's morning, your meeting is then interrupted by the morning news. Morning news delivered by your coworkers, but not by you at this hour because this is before you start. And their main push this morning, which you would have had cause to know based on what you were working on, would likely be coming, is prosperity is increasing.
Mm-hmm.
Local rations on NutriFood are being pulled back. That's right, everyone. For the sake of the conglomerate, we are lowering the level of local rations on NutriFood for everyone. Happy Prosperity Day! And that is the end of your morning. Who would like to go next?
Okay. I'll go, if that's okay. John is at home. He sits up from his bed. I wish I could tell you what this home looks like, but I've never seen it. The I feel that the other side of the bed is risen. So Anne must have gone to work. I hear 4 footsteps in the room over, which means Antonio is home. I would like to speak with him. So John is going to call out. I'm going to use the notice someone to put Antonio into the scene.
Okay.
And I would like to show affection towards my son.
I love that. Antonio is, I'm looking here, one of your trusted characters. So who would like to play Antonio? 27-year-old bureaucrat. Go for it.
I will, if I remember
Yeah.
to unmute. Do you have any thing about them already pre-established, Andy?
No, go for it. They work in a similar field as John, so it is in the signatory office, but they themselves are not a collateral signatory, which in this case just means that they are able to see.
Mm.
Antonio, could you
Morning.
please come into the room?
Yeah. Antonio walks around the corner of the door and peeks their head in and walks the rest of the way to the bed that you're sitting on.
May I please ask you to sit next to me or stand in front of me?
Yeah. Antonio will walk around to the other side of the bed and kind of sit next to you, and then kind of scooch close in the way that a kid will nuzzle up with their parents.
John is going to reach towards Antonio, starting from the top of their head. Your hair is too long. Please cut it soon. Moving downward a little bit, feeling the shape of their cheeks. You need to eat more. You've lost weight. And John is going to hold his son a second longer than he should. I have never seen my son's face, but I will know it.
Antonio puts his hands up to where your hands are and holds them there as well.
I think this will test John's value of family first, and I am going to choose apathy.
Okay. Go ahead and roll. Remind us, what is your apathy right now?
It is a 2.
And remind us, do you like family first or do you not like it? Is it good or is it bad?
I do like it. It's good.
Great. So family first, you need to roll over your 2 in apathy.
That is a 6.
Okay. You succeed. So the 2 shadow emotions connected to apathy are guilt or despair. Would you like to increase guilt or despair by 1 right now?
I will increase despair from 3 to 4.
Okay. You pass your values test. Proceed.
Okay. As part of that, my love will increase to 2.
Yes, because you are showing affection. And yeah, that is it. You also, though, are a bureaucrat and need to roll me 1d10 for that act.
Yes, I have to roll 2 because I did notice someone and I did
Yes.
show affection.
You need to do both. Thank you very much for that.
That's an 8 on the first one.
Okay.
That's a 7 on the second one.
Okay. What would you like to do for your final act? Actually, before you do that, you hear the same news broadcast that I described already.
Thank you. Thank you, Antonio. You have to get ready for work soon. Please do that as quickly as possible. I'll see you later. And
Of course, and we'll kind of shift their demeanor to be a little bit more upright and get off and head out of the room to go prepare for their day.
for my last act, John is going to leave his house so that he could go to work. So I'm going to choose go somewhere.
Cool.
I'm going to
Please roll
choose
me 1d10. Sorry. Go ahead.
somewhere. That is a 1.
Where are you going? You can go ahead and describe that, and then I will resolve on my side.
John is going to work. It's difficult to go to work when you can't see. So John has to leave early so that he can take his time to try and make it there. It's hard when the city is as quiet or silent as it is right now.
Two things. One is before you leave, you feel a subtle disturbance in how you know you've left your path out of your house. Something that you have placed that helps you know that no one has been there other than your family, something that they know not to move, was moved. What was it?
I think the door to the house has a small thing just hanging on the top of it so that John can identify that this is the door to the house. And I think when he leaves, it wasn't there.
Mm-hmm. On your way through the silence of this morning, an auditory message reaches you, ringing out across your commute. You are on work transport, walking. What do you think?
Walking to the transport.
It rings out. When you arrive, report to your superior for an audit. And that's your morning. Who would like to go next?
I'll go next. We open in a very surprisingly modestly decorated bedroom. King-size bed accompanied by a sheepish vanity in the corner that has makeup products. They're all mostly neutral in tone. The room is very beige. We see Cynthia looking at herself in the mirror, smoothing out her work attire for the day. She has hair that goes just past her shoulders. It's all cut one length. It's rather blunt. She always looks a bit tired, even though she is certainly well rested, or at least she thinks that she is. She tries to look as pristine as possible. She's the first face that many people see whenever they come through the office building that she works in, so making sure that she looks presentable, that there's not a single hair out of place, is one of her top priorities. But this morning for her is different than most. Her husband has already left the room for the morning, but she can hear him in the kitchen pouring himself a cup of coffee, and she is staring at an open drawer in her vanity that has a stack of papers. She's filing for a divorce today. And she is going to, before getting ready to leave for work entirely, she has all of her bags ready, is going to hand these papers to her husband, Howard. She tucks them under her arm, and she walks into the hall. There are photos of the couple together from when they got married to holiday photos. They never had any children. No photos of Cynthia's family with them, only Howard's. And she walks into the kitchen, and she will start her morning by observing Howard's behavior.
So technically, that is 2 acts.
Okay.
You're going to introduce Howard to the scene as a stranger, although you would have to do the same if Howard were a trusted character, and then you'll observe behavior. So
Perfect.
what you just described already introduces Howard. The observed behavior we can go ahead and deduce together. But you can determine what it is that you want to do, and I'll answer everything that you'd like. But I do need to. You're a bureaucrat, correct?
Yes.
Two 1d10 rolls, please,
You
and let me
got
know if you
it.
get a 1 on either.
Beautiful. And then what do I add to those? Just to double check.
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing. You just do 1d10 and 1d10, and then you tell me if either of them is a 1.
First one was an 8. The second was a 10.
Beautiful. So, what would you like to observe in Howard in this moment?
Cynthia wants to see what kind of mood Howard is in today.
Face inscrutable in a way that you would be practiced at seeing and seeing through. Howard is nonplussed. Howard expected some sort of scene from you today, and is grateful that so far it is just paperwork. Receiving the paperwork, not taking you seriously, not believing that this is actually going to happen, and believing that even if you want it to happen, it may not be possible for you to get what you want, is calm.
Good morning.
Good morning. Heading to work?
I am. I would appreciate it if you could sign this before I return home tonight.
Did you share the red lines?
Cynthia stops for a moment, I think. Howard, I don't really want to have any more conversation about this. I think it would just be best for both of us if you signed.
I can't sign unless we follow proper procedure. You need to process the red lines.
And I will.
And I will sign after you process. Once you follow the proper procedure and we get the authorization that we require.
And I have tried, but every time I make an appointment, you seem to suddenly fail to show up to the offices with me, don't you?
Well, Conglomerate comes first.
Right. Well, I should be home on time this evening, and I will find time to set up another appointment, and we'll go together. I'm sure you can find at least a few moments out of your busy schedule to assist in that, right?
We could. We can meet back up here if you'd like, and we can share a ride.
Fine. What time will you be home?
Oh, the usual hour.
The usual hour varies for you these days.
Well, I won't know until I get to work. Would you like me to send you a message once I know?
If you could send one before I go on lunch today, that would be preferred. Thank you.
during the morning session. I will speak to my superior when I arrive. Was there anything else you wanted to share with me?
Have a good day.
I hope you have the day that you deserve.
Right. Of course. Well, regardless of what time you get home, I usually arrive here before, so I will make sure that some dinner is prepared before we leave. Right?
Thank you. Make sure that it is NutriFood. And here, the break-in on prosperity, the morning news, enters the fray, letting you know that there is going to be a rationing of NutriFood.
Cynthia listens to the broadcast and then smiles at her husband before simply stating, Conglomerate comes first.
Of course. You have one action left if you want in your morning. What would you like to do?
I think as Cynthia gets ready to leave, she is going to send the text message.
Okay. Up to 20 words.
Okay. It's just going to say that she served him the papers.
Who is she sending it to?
If possible, her mother.
Okay. Great. Thank you. I need a D10 for that,
yes.
please.
2.
Great. Who would like to go next with their morning?
I will. We open up in a very, very drab room, very gray, undecorated, very, very like a default setting sort of room, where Four awakes for the day and has decided that they want to spend their leisure time wandering around. So I'm going to use go somewhere, and Four is going to head towards. I'd like to think somewhere here in this society that we live in, there are institutions that are kind of like a facade of what a museum would be, in that they are like specifically chosen relics to reinforce the established history and knowledge of what we are meant to know. Something that in the world that we the players are from would be considered like just propaganda. It's just a building full of propaganda with the intention that people would go in their leisure time to just reinforce their knowledge of where they live. And so Four is going to head towards what they call a museum, to spend their time looking at the objects on display.
So, as a part of Go Somewhere, which is the action that I believe you're taking, please also roll me 1d10. You are able to invent and describe this new location. It has to be in a part of town that you have narrative control over. And as a bureaucrat, that means that you can put it in the public patrol quarters, in the public parts of government, or among the social services. Do you have a preference?
I think it would be in the public patrol quarters. I think it would be in a place that would be easy to access to further reinforce the accepted truth.
Yeah, absolutely. And what is the nature of this particular museum?
I think this one is a history of, I say history very lightly, it's a history of how the system of rationing has rescued us all collectively from some manufactured instance of like famine or tragedy or whatever. Like, look how much worse it was before, and through all of these very distinct steps, our government has saved us from by ration. This whole process is for your good, and this is what that is.
When you arrive, the morning broadcast blasts out of not only the devices around you and the devices that are always on at the entryway of this museum, they also blast through your Neuralink system that you cannot turn off, have not had off since it was put in. So you hear it not just outside of yourself, but quite literally inside of yourself, resonating in the very bones of your body. As you look upon this monument to the good work of many plenty, you hear this notice of prosperity and rationing ring out across yourself. What was that 1d10 you got for go somewhere?
2.
You got 2 more actions in your morning if you'd like to take them. Acts. You don't have to, but you can take up to 2 more.
I think 4 has a moment where they're like thinking to themselves about the relics of the truth that they live in, and about how their whole so for a little bit of a description of 4 is a dressed very plainly. They are dressed in a way that almost that implies that they are trying to just blend into the scenery. They're trying to be basically be part of the furniture of this society. They have a camera installed in their left eye, and it's a visible altercation of their, like, you can look at them and see that that's what's happening with their eyeball. And they're constantly processing all of that visual input, packaging it and sending it back. That is their whole job. And right now, since they're technically off the clock, they're taking this time to maybe they're not actively processing their visual input because they're not on the clock. They don't have to do that right this moment. And they're thinking about what life would be like if they didn't have to do that all the time. But they don't express this at all. They just kind of are wondering, and they wander through this museum and look at all of the different things. And if it's okay, I would actually like to wind down by just like being in this place and absorbing, I guess, what is absorbing stuff that's like propaganda that's already been packaged. Like I don't have to touch this. This is already done. Our wonderful state has already done this part. I can just be here. I can just be. And so I would like to use this moment to wind down, actually.
You absolutely are able to wind down, take your stress from 2 down to 1. Also, I want to mention, just because I understand that this carries over from most of the games that we play, as a reminder, not just to you, to everybody at the table, I don't get to say what you do or not. So anything you want to do is okay. Anything that you want to try, any act you want to take, any of that, it's entirely up to you. So yeah, you are able to wind down. That means that you forego your 3rd act that you would have available to you there. This is not work phase, so it is not a thought crime. You relax, you remove 1 stress, going from 2 to 1. But before you do, on your way down, please roll me last 1d10, which you won't have to do for the next acts you have when you go down to 1 stress. Great. Steve, tell us about your morning.
Yeah. So Calahan lives in a large apartment, plain white walls, plain beige carpet, you had to describe it in one word, sterile. He's he gives Suzanne, his wife, exactly one kiss on the cheek, very mechanically, and basically, pauses for a moment, is expecting her to give one back, and then they will go about their morning.
To pause
so I think
one
that's
moment.
Noticing someone.
Yeah, noticing someone. You introduce Suzanne. Would somebody like to play Suzanne?
Oh, I was muted. Sorry. I was going to say I can play Suzanne. Who is Suzanne?
So as a conglomerate officer, Calahan and Suzanne, she's also an official, are in the lovely position of the corporation, the conglomerate, tells you will marry, you will have a family, etc. Neither one of them has their heart in it, but whatever the bare minimum to satisfy that requirement is, I think that's basically the kind of marriage that they have.
Mm-hmm.
So he gives her a peck on the cheek.
Yeah, yes. The one other thing I need, you all are welcome to proceed, is you just need to roll 1d10. Oh, sorry, 1d6. 1d6.
Yep. That's a 1.
You all can proceed. I'll let you know when I'm ready.
Okay.
Yep. Morning, honey.
Morning.
And then there is a long silence, I think. Yeah. Have a good day. And he is moving along unless she's got something.
I think your hair is perhaps 1 inch above regulation. Be sure to stop by and cut it before you reflect badly on whatever.
Thank you for taking such paying such careful attention.
It is my responsibility and my joy to pay attention to you, and I am assured that likewise you too pay attention to any significant changes in my appearances and will dutifully tell me as such.
It is my responsibility. A careful observer might notice he does not claim to find joy in it, but
so
yeah.
You notice someone in your home who you have never met before, standing in the doorway, briefcase in hand, suit on, hat in the other hand, looking at the two of you silently.
There is a long, awkward moment because he is not used to having anything unexpected in the morning. Good morning.
I have come to cut your hair.
Are you going to invite them in, darling?
Well, I appreciate your initiative, darling. And he will let them in and find a chair with enough space around it for them to do their thing.
Unfolding the briefcase on a table next to that chair, whatever nearest table might be, pulls out the implements for a haircut and a shave, including an apron to put over you for that. Puts the apron around your neck, ties it tight, a little bit uncomfortably tight, just to make sure that there's nothing that can get through under your clothing. Takes out these implements and utilizes these scissors on your hair first, then puts some shaving lotion on your face and neck, and using a straight razor silently, unless you engage in conversation, goes and gives you a shave as well.
I think it's going to be silently, unless there's an ow. But I trust. Going to take a leap of faith and trust that this kind stranger with a razor to my neck is here to do a professional job, and they're good at it, or they wouldn't be here.
You do notice Suzanne's gaze lingers on the straight razor just a moment too long.
As you notice that, the morning news blares in, and you hear the wonderful news of prosperity from Mini Plenty, and there's no reaction from the person giving you this shave. But afterwards, you do feel a bit more pressure in a couple of places. It doesn't break skin, but you do feel that. You have 2 acts, up to 2 acts left, if you'd like.
Yeah. It occurs to me that I did not mention earlier what Calahan actually does in this world. He's a line editor, which in our world would mean, like, working on books about style and pace and all of that to, get the minor details to line up with the narrative. In this world, he does the same thing, but it's not the narrative of a book. It's, groupthink. He handles the details, make sure that the narrative will land. And so he listens very carefully to the exact wording and pacing and delivery of the announcement to make sure it's just the way it should be, and nothing will need to get walked back or clarified later.
Okay. Would you like to take any other acts this morning?
Yeah. There is, as he is preparing to leave, there's a reminder on his device, and he's going to pause just long enough to send a text message.
20 words. Up to.
Sending a text message to Mama Barb, one of his moms. Happy birthday, period.
Okay. Would you like to take you? Oh, you have to roll 1d10.
Yes.
Sorry, 1d6. I keep
1d6.
saying that. 1d6.
Okay, that is not a 1. All right.
Okay. Would you like to take your final act to either wind down and lower your stress level, or do anything else? You could go somewhere to go to work. You could do anything.
I can change the order just a little bit. He sends the text a little bit earlier. I think, as far as he's concerned, sitting and being taken care of, being pampered, I think that is how he winds down this morning.
This person, who has not bothered to introduce themselves and will not before they leave, finishes up, pats you down at one point, puts a hot towel over your face, tightly wrapped around your neck as well. It is a little difficult to breathe. A little too long on there. When that comes off, You find that everything but the towel has been put back into the briefcase. The towel is wrung out in your sink, is folded back up, is put into a zipped compartment in the briefcase to make sure nothing else gets wet. Briefcase is closed. Person packs themselves back up, puts their hat back on, nod to Suzanne, a look to you, and out the door. And that is your morning. We now enter work. Phase 1. Well, phase 2, but the first part of work for the day. Each of you have up to 6 acts. Looking at the time that we have left here, I do not want to rush you through anything. We do not have to go through all 6 phases today. But if you happen to have a sense of what you might want to do with your work, and you want to stack any of those acts one on top of the other, we can go through them fairly quickly, and you can resolve them narratively as you wish in tandem. We don't have to do one act at a time, but we can. Who would like to start? And I would remind you, if you did not go somewhere in the prior section, you do still need to go to work during work. A couple of things I want to highlight because this is the first time that we're playing it. One is, you don't have to go to work during work. If you don't go to work during work, I will notice. But whatever you do during this period is up to you. The examples on the handout here of some possible thought crimes, they're not definitely thought crimes, and they're certainly not an exhaustive list of thought crimes, include being lazy at work. So I just want to highlight that. And then you all can do it. You all can work in complementary places, especially those of you who you have overlap as bureaucrats and conglomerate officials. You have overlap and control over the public parts of government and the social services. The conglomerate officials, you also have control narratively over upper class establishments and low security government. So you can describe your specific areas. You do not need to be in a place that is accessible to or in the control of other people at the table, but you can in whatever instances you want. It is entirely up to you all. And so I say that in part to say we don't just have to go one at a time with you describing these things and coming to me for that. You can talk to each other as well about what you want to build and what you want to do. I also want to highlight, you can say that another person or yourself needs to take a value test. One of you already did do that for yourself, but because this is a GM-less game, I'm not the only person to call for a value test. You all can call each other for that, as well as yourselves. So please go ahead with that in mind and proceed.
I would like to crank out a
Let's go. Wonderful. Love that. So that is a value test, as your husband is... Sorry, your husband is a family member or a friend? Thank you. So yes, you are going to be able to do that. The value test for that is going to be family first. Is family first good or bad for you? Sadness or apathy? Oh, okay. While that... It's okay. While that gets worked out... Hold on, I'm hearing audio come in. Rand, can you hear me? No. While Rand works that out, for the sake of time, who would like to go, and then we can go back to Rand when Rand's able to reconnect.
I would like to go somewhere else again after arriving at work, and I'd like to go to the office for the audit.
Okay, perfect. So when you arrive at work, you were already on your way to work last time, so you don't have to spend something else unless you want to invent a specific place within the workplace, right? In which case you absolutely can do that. Would you like to do that?
Yes, because I do not believe that the actual signatories would be where the office of whoever is above us would be.
Absolutely. So go ahead and roll me 1d10, because I believe you still have the 2 stress.
I rolled it, that's a
and
5.
Perfect. You're all good. And you can describe where you are, and then tell me anything else you want to do.
Okay. John arrives at the office. The door is heavy. From the touch of the material of it, I can tell that it's glass, probably thicker than I would assume. I wonder if it's tinted. Not that it would matter to the people inside. I walk in. I try to avoid the desks that I know are there. I can hear fingers tapping on keyboards, some scribbling and some crumpling of paper. It fills the room. The noise is welcome. It lets me know that something is there, and I don't know if the others feel that way, but that's how I do.
Oh, it's okay. We can hear you. We're gonna come back to you, Ren. We're just with Andy for now, and then we'll come to you next.
There are a set of stairs. I have to navigate them slowly, which I know lead into an office where some of the other sections are handled, including finances. I feel for a door. I feel for a door with a nameplate on it. I think it's the second one. I hope it's the second one. I open the door and I would like to notice someone, which would be the stranger that is doing the audit.
Absolutely. Would you like to give them a name? Describe anything about them? I mean, that you can.
As John enters the door, I think they hear the voice of the person doing the audit. It sounds off, like it's coming through a speaker. I don't hear the wheels or the grinding of a chair, so they didn't stand up. And I hear them speak, asking me to take a space. I go towards where that would be. I don't feel that a chair is there, so I remain standing.
What do you have to report for your audit?
Hello, my name is John Smith. I am a collateral signatory for the audit. My family unit has made purchases for NutriFood, which I am reporting now. The purchase was made 2 weeks ago, and as per requested, I am reporting all purchases now.
Are you offering to return some of what you purchased for the good of our ration?
Yes, of course.
How much?
I would like to return a third of it.
Notes that down in a digital notepad, but with a stylus. Do you have anything else to report?
John thinks for a moment. An object was stolen from the front of my home unit. An approved object.
What is the nature of this approved object?
It is a small identifier, such that I might find the correct door to my home.
Do you know who took it?
I do not know who took it.
Have you checked your devices?
I have not checked my devices.
Return to me for a completion of this audit once you have checked your devices.
I believe this is my third action. I am going to search for something, which is my devices.
Perfect. Did you roll for the second act?
I did. It is a 4.
Okay, perfect. Go ahead and roll for the third
For
already.
the third act, that is a 7.
Okay. Search for something. Describe how your resistance character searches their current location for something. You're able to do that digitally through your interface on your devices to look through your devices. You can't search for notes. Decide what you're searching for, then roll the search die according to the types below. Very likely, possible, maybe, or improbable. If you roll a 1, you find exactly what you were searching for. If you roll a 2 or a 3, you find something that might be converted into what you were searching for. If you roll the highest number available on the die you are rolling, something goes wrong. All other results, you did not find what you were searching for. If you want to find exactly who took this and like footage essentially of them doing it, that's going to be improbable. If you want to find some indicators of who they might be, that's going to be a maybe. If you want to get a vague sense of whether anybody came up to your unit to do this, that is going to be possible. None of this is very likely.
Okay, then I think it's just a vague sense.
Okay, 1d6, please.
That's a 1.
Okay, you find exactly what you were searching for. So you see someone entirely unidentifiable, their face obscured in a swirl of digital mess as they move, appear suddenly in front of your door. You do not see where they come from. You see this from multiple angles, and the obscuring nature of this is consistent from all different angles. You're able to clip that and put that together for free into something if you would like. You don't have to do that, though. But it is right there at the push of a button. Don't have to use an act to be able to provide this information when you would like, which can be now or later. And that is about all the information you get. You do see that they are the one who messed with this item. You do see that they pocketed it and it was taken away. You do not know if it was just one person who was involved in this. You do not know anything particularly meaningful about the nature of them. The different angles on them make it look like they're taller in one and shorter in another, different body shapes in different times. There's fully obscured, clearly altered. Though
Okay.
notably not altered to remove the existence of anyone at all. Simply altered to show that someone was there while making it impossible for you to be able to tell who.
Okay.
You are in your work phase and you've taken 3 actions so far. You have up to 3 more if you would
Okay.
like.
I will go back to the audit office and I will speak to the stranger again.
Okay.
I have reviewed my devices as per procedure that I am obliged to. I have not viewed it. I am not allowed to view it, but I do have it.
Is this an undefined act? Is this befriend or is this something else?
This is an undefined act.
Okay. So I need you to roll me 1d10 for that.
That is a 10.
Okay. Receives it from you and says, "Thank you for this information. Is this everything that you found?"
Yes.
We will review it and we will be in touch with any further questions. And then indicates the door.
I leave. I go back to my workstation. I sit down and I begin my job of processing papers, signing them blindly as I am told to do so. As a collateral signatory, it is my job to sign any assigned paperwork that is given to me and to serve as the part of the conglomerate that is responsible for any collateral damages that signing such paperwork would entail, essentially protecting the conglomerate from any of the consequences of signing such papers. Before I perform my work, I would like to do one last undefined act, which is to, and this is unknowing, I do not believe that John knows that they are doing this, but it is to begin processing the paperwork that Cynthia has submitted.
Okay. Absolutely. You are able to do that. Give me a 1d10 on that and another 1d10 on your working.
That is a 4 for processing Cynthia's paperwork, and that is a 10 in order to perform my work.
And that's your morning. Ran? Or sorry, that is your morning phase of work, your first half of work. Ran?
Yeah, I think I am going to start with my affection, which triggers a value, which is family first. I consider it bad.
Perfect. And for family first, are you going to be rolling under, because it is roll under since you consider it bad, you're going to be rolling under your sadness or your apathy?
Sadness.
What is your sadness?
That is a 4, and I rolled a 2.
Great. So would you like to increase your apathy or your despair?
I'm going to increase my despair
Okay. From what to what?
from 2 to 3.
Thank you. So you succeed in masking your distaste for this compulsory expression of affection. And you have up to 5 more acts available to you during this work period.
Something I would say is that her distaste of this compulsory display of affection is the distaste is solely for the part that is compulsory. She, in fact, deep down, loves her husband, but she is distasteful only for the compulsory nature of it. That second act she's going to take is to go somewhere. She's going to go to work. It is not far from her living quarters, such is her privilege as a conglomerate official. Her office and her workstation is quite close to her living station. And then on her way to work, however, she is going to give a call to Ezra.
Love that. I need 3d6, 1 for the first act and then 2 for these other 2 acts.
Mm-hmm. Cool. We are at a 4, a 3, and a 6.
Perfect. Describe how your resistance character is calling Ezra. This is done during work, so to be clear, if any communication about non-work topics occur, it's going to be a thought crime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm going to call Ezra and say, I noticed that during our morning meeting that you are of above average, if not superior, observation skills, and I could use someone like you during my work process. Someone who is observant and could discern any transgressions from any of my subordinates. Would you be interested in assisting me in these works? It would be important.
To color my response,
Mhm.
I need an answer to a question. Within this voice call, are you attempting to befriend Ezra?
Yes, that's my additional act. So I'm gonna roll another d6.
Mhm.
4.
Okay, great. You are going to do a value test here. Which value do you believe is most at play here?
Tell no lies.
Okay. Is that good or bad for
Bad.
you? Okay, this is going to be roll under anger or guilt.
I think anger.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
That's a 1.
Okay, so you succeed. What was your anger, just so I know?
5.
Great. So would you like to increase guilt or sadness?
Guilt.
Okay. As you increase guilt and feel that guilt hitting you, you succeed and are able to befriend Ezra, add Ezra to your trusted characters. They are now a friend of yours, and you gain 1 love. So add 1 love to your sheet. Ezra
Yes.
turns to you. Yeah. Ezra turns to you and says, I am an admirer of the work that you do as well. And I am Absolutely at your service. And with that, I'm going to pass the baton because Ezra is no longer a stranger and is now a trusted character. Somebody else needs to play Ezra for the rest of this scene. Who wants it?
I'll do it.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you so much for trusting me with this opportunity, and I look forward to working for you.
Of course. It is important for all of us to be united in our support of the ministries who have done so much for each one of us citizens here. And it is important to have people like you who are observant of any thought crimes that is surfacing in above what is unseen. So I would very much appreciate it if you would report directly to me if you have noticed anything.
Understood. My skills and my observations are at your service.
Very good.
Will there be anything else?
I would very much like for you to audit or observe the broadcast that I'm going to perform tonight.
Understood. Is there any specific places or people that you would like to be the object of this audit or observation?
Anyone who work for me or with me will be object of observance.
Understood. I will
As
keep a detail.
we need to always be vigilant, of course. You never know who you're working with.
You're entirely correct. We do not. I will be sure to give a detailed tally of everything.
Good. Conglomerate always comes first.
The conglomerate always comes first.
Okay. I think then I will, instead of I do think the speech will fit more to the next work phase potentially. So I'm gonna not do that and then have maybe notice for my next action before winding down.
Okay, perfect. Who do you want to notice?
I would like to notice my intern, Oliana, who is a pro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to play Oleana. Go ahead and roll me 1d6 for both the wind down and the notice someone.
Okay.
I can play Oleana.
So it's a 3, and that's a 5.
Okay, perfect. Go ahead. And you can play out the rest of the scene, meaning you're able to now play out whatever you'd like to do with Oleana, including this wind down, and then that will end your work phase, and then we'll move to the next person.
Is there anything you'd like for me to know about Oleana?
I want to say she is secretly rebellious and very much aligned with who Sinead is as well. They have this unspoken way of communicating with each other, and very much are like working together to ensure that they are essentially protecting the people they want to protect.
I think when you first see Oleana this morning, she is getting off the phone at the little tiny desk that she has to help you, and her paperwork is a little bit disheveled. She's trying to organize them all. And as she hangs up the phone, she looks at you and gives sort of a half wave and says, "Oh, good morning."
Good morning to you as well. The conglomerate comes first.
She smiles at you. Conglomerate comes first. You just had a phone call. You weren't in yet, so I told them to call back in about 30 minutes, but it was exec wanting to schedule some kind of meeting. I'm sorry, I didn't take any notes.
It is important to take notes.
I know.
Please make sure not to make that mistakes again.
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to inform you that I have invited an auditor for tonight's broadcast for a person to observe the people that we work with, to make sure that we are working with only people who do not commit thought crimes and have the conglomerate's best interest in heart.
You see that Oleana was dutifully writing all of this down in her notes. Yes, ma'am.
And it would be your duty, as someone who worked the closest with me, to understand their station and note down any information as the auditor is going to report to me. Any suspicions or the potentialities of any of our colleagues who might be able to be discovered as a threat.
You see she nods along as you're speaking and taking notes of what she should be doing during the broadcast. And as you make that last point, her eyebrows raise a bit and she says, "Understood."
I hope you would. And would just give a nod. And I will be in my office.
Absolutely. When that exec calls, I will forward it to you right away.
Good. And that's me.
Perfect. Who would like to get into their work period next?
I can.
Go for it.
Takes a deep breath and then heads towards we'll say they go towards one of like the pro public areas, kind of one of the like ration distribution areas, to observe and process and report back as they are meant to. They are generally assigned with just unless given a specific task, they are instructed to meander about and passively absorb what the populace is up to. And I would like to notice a stranger doing something either out of the ordinary in some way in their behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Either it in some way clocks as like, oh, this person is doing something that's not normal, or not necessarily normal, but like not accepted.
This person turns out to be two people. You introduce someone. What do they look like roughly?
I think upon first glance, nothing really stands out. And then you notice that their hair seems a little bit longer than is typically expected, slash accepted, and they are they've got a really big kind of heavy looking coat on, and appear to be almost shrinking into their own clothing.
The second person who you see must be their identical twin, more properly groomed and with a more properly fitting attire and a posture that is ramrod straight, comes into your periphery from behind you and stands and stares at this person, and this person stares back at them. And they do that in silence.
I would like to observe their behavior.
Perfect. Roll me 1d10, please.
Is that for
Your stress.
I cleared my stress with the one
Oh,
down.
that's right. So you don't have to roll me anything. In observing their behavior, You, what specifically do you want to know about them? Like, what are you looking for?
I'm looking for if there is a reason for me to report them.
Perfect.
Are-
Go ahead.
No, I was just like, are they trying to steal something? Are they trying to hide something? Is there anything that I need to flag kind of in the footage as it's being sent back?
Sure. The one who looks well kempt, you don't register anything. The one who looks unusually built, essentially, unusually presenting, um, in the middle of this ongoing stare with what looks to be themselves, they fall completely passive. They were a bit silent. They start to speak a couple of times. They are met with silence from their sibling. And at a moment, it looks as though they might betray some emotion. And instead, they seem to dissociate completely. And their body slackens a little bit. And the one who came to confront them turns on their heel and walks off, and slumped shoulders, they follow.
I would like to hold on. That was 1, 2, 3. I would like to follow them as well.
Sure.
This
Now,
is weird.
in following them, is this an undefined act, or is there something else you're looking to do from either your class acts or the other free acts?
I think right now 4 just wants to is a smidge more curious than they really should be. And wants to either see where they're going or have some indication as to like what is the relationship between these two people, or is one of them perhaps a superior officer and like, okay, this could be handed off kind of deal.
Sure. This is observed behavior, I would imagine. Again. Okay.
I think I'm gonna make this a value test actually, because they're being kind of more curious than they should be.
Okay. Which value do you have in mind?
I'm gonna go with Conglomerate Unity because they're not immediately reporting anything. They're pursuing their own.
Okay.
train of thought there.
Conglomerate Unity is good or bad for you?
It's good for me.
Okay, so you're going to roll over fear or anger. Which would you like to roll over?
Story-wise, I think fear. I think narratively fear makes sense.
Okay. What is your fear?
Here's the thing, my fear's at a 5.
Okay. Roll me 1d6.
So we're gonna hope is what we're gonna do. That's a 1.
Okay, so you fail. So you can take a stress and turn that into a success, or you will have an emotional outburst aligned with fear. Which would you like to do? I will take
stress.
Okay. So that is back up to 1d10. You have 2 stress. And you succeed. So having succeeded on this fear test, would you like anger or apathy to go up by 1? Actually, I'm sorry. You failed. So I think the way I actually need to do this, now you took a stress to succeed. I'm not sure how this is going to go, so I'm going to home rule this in the moment, and I'll check with Yoan. We're going to do both. You failed the roll first, so I need you to remove an emotion point from an emotion of your choice. Which one?
I'm going to remove 1 from apathy.
Okay. Now you are going to need to increase anger or apathy. Which would you like to increase?
I'm going to increase anger.
Okay. What are the new totals for both?
Anger 3, sadness 3, fear 5, guilt 2, despair 3, apathy 3.
Perfect. Okay.
Got a lot of 3s right now.
You do. You succeed because you always succeed. There's no resolution in this. But there is nothing that is caught about what you do. There's nothing problematic that you betray in your emotions here. You nearly did, but you got it together in a way that stressed you out, but got the job done. What specifically are you looking for in the way of information here?
Where they're going, or the relationship between these two people and an official standpoint. Like, is one of them a higher ranking person? Are they headed to an official building? Are they headed to non-official building?
Given your neural interface, you're able to bring up universe identification information at your level of classification access on both of them, and you are able to identify that they were, until 2 days ago, both at the same level of conglomerate official. One of them was recently demoted down to bureaucrat. So the more disheveled one is the one that was brought back down to bureaucrat. They walk to and enter into what we above table know is the same building that Andy went into.
So it is an official building.
Official building.
At which point, Four will kind of relax a little bit. They will turn around and go back to where their post was, and I am going to just have them work for the remainder of the work phase.
Perfect. Roll me 1d10, please.
3.
Okay. Who's next?
I can go next.
Sure.
So after a tense conversation with her husband, Cynthia is going to go somewhere. She's going to go to the office building she works in, which, funny enough, I believe is the same building that John works in, or at least went to this morning. She works a front desk job there where she checks people in for meetings. She greets people. She smiles. As she gets there for the day, she is going to, and I need to roll a d10 for going to the office as well,
please.
right? Okay. That is a 2.
Okay.
As she gets there, she is going to notice someone. She is going to look for her current trainee, Ariana. Cynthia spent many years with this desk just being hers, but now it is a bit more of a shared space with this young woman that she has been training.
Okay. Who would like to play this young woman? Sorry, this is Oleana again, right? So
Ariana is this one's name.
Ariana. Sorry, this is Ariana, who is a trusted character. So who would like to play Ariana?
I can play Ariana. Could you tell me a little bit about them?
Yeah. Ariana is 29. She has only been in this position for a couple of weeks. And Cynthia is training her to sort of be a secondary secretary and just kind of an assistant to her as they work. Cynthia has been really trying to maybe go for a promotion, so she's been working really hard to try and make sure that Ariana knows exactly what she's doing, whether or not it's working.
Okay. Could you repeat how you introduced them into the scene?
Yeah, absolutely. Cynthia just made it to her desk. She's kind of setting her things down. It used to be just Cynthia's desk. Now it is a shared space for 2 people, and it wasn't really meant for one, or it wasn't really meant to be that. I think Cynthia, as she's setting down her things, gives you kind of like a half wave, but barely makes eye contact with you. Not in a rude way, just in a way that she always does. And she says, "Good morning, Ariana."
Good morning, ma'am. I think Ariana has a bunch of like stuff in their arms that they're trying to bring over to the desk. Just like it's I would say it was a bunch of papers, but paper is not okay here. So it's a bunch of just stuff for general note taking and like reference documents and whatnot. Very clunkily held together as she's making her way over to the desk.
Different devices, I would argue, perhaps with different security level functions, specifically able to interface with different aspects of the universe for different parts of your job. I'm going to go ahead and introduce two strangers to this scene, one of whom simply comes up next to Ariana and helps carry some of that to make it a little bit less difficult to carry. The other who comes up with like a data pad in hand and says, I see that you're filing paperwork today, completely ignoring you, Ariana. I see that you're filing paperwork today. Would you like to explain?
Yes. Howard and I will be filing divorce paperwork today.
And you've gotten all of the requisite paperwork fulfilled so that you are ready to process that paperwork today.
We are working on completing the red lines today. In fact, we are going to be doing that after we both return from work.
Understood. This will not be impeding your work in any way, shape, or form, correct?
Absolutely not. I intend to spend my lunch break today doing all of the work that is necessary for us to continue the filing process.
The conglomerate comes first.
Conglomerate comes first.
Steps back to a different part of the space. Is working on their data pad. Does not leave.
Do I also need to help you with that during lunch, or is that like just a you piece of paperwork, or is that part of the job? I just want to do a good job.
Thank you, Ariana. No, my personal business with my husband shall be left to me on my personal time. However, I would like to show you, there's quite a few meetings that are scheduled for today, so I just want to make sure that you're still clear on how to check people in appropriately and how to speak appropriately on the phone if they are late to their appointment times. Do you remember?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember the script for if somebody is 15 minutes or more late for an appointment?
Ariana, I think, puts all the stuff on the table, kind of spreads it out on top of whatever you had on there, and picks up a document and starts flipping through it to try to find where they had written down for their own reference what the script was. I hold on. I had it here somewhere. Okay. Please report to the head office. Right? That was the 15-minute one, right?
So what you'll do is
Okay.
you'll call them. If they answer, you'll say, hello, this is Ariana speaking. We had you scheduled in for an appointment with insert official's name for insert scheduled time, and you are currently 15 minutes late. Insert official's name has another appointment in 30 minutes and will no longer be able to see you. Whenever you are ready to reschedule your appointment, you may give us a call at the office.
And then I say their number.
Yes, you would say our front desk number with an extension for our desk, which is desk 2.
Desk 2. Got it. I knew this. I swear I knew this. I just can't find where I wrote it down.
If they are only 5 minutes late, they can still make the appointment. But any more than that, especially the 15-minute mark, they have to reschedule. Even if they come running through the door, begging or trying to go through the main elevator to get to the offices, we have to make sure that we stop them.
No begging. Got it.
Exactly.
So for this interaction, I see it, although you're welcome to tell me that it is something else. It is your act to decide. as either an undefined act, wherein you're simply helping this person learn how to do their job better, or extroverted romance affection, in assuming that this affection, to term it that way, non-romantic though it may be, is an effort in good faith for you to try to take this person, who I believe is a friend in your social network, and truly, genuinely invest in them. Now, this requires 3 values tests. If you fail any of those values tests, they become hostile and revert from being a friend to a stranger, which means that control would revert from Fish to me. If you succeed, you gain 2 love and can add them as a family member. Again, as a reminder, that does not mean they're literal family. That is a level of trust. You would not lose control of them to me ever. They can be targeted in other ways. They can be killed. They can be turned, but never turned over to me. Would you like to try to do that, or would you like to do an undefined act, or are you doing something else with this exchange?
Yeah, I think this is, Cynthia not only wants to advance her own career, but I think there is a piece of her that sees a lot of her, even though she's not that much older than Ariana. She's only 5 years older. I think she sees a bit of herself in Ariana, especially when she first started working in this office. So I think this comes from a place of platonically caring for her to succeed in this role.
Okay. Am I understanding correctly that then you are trying to turn this friend into a family member?
I would think so, yeah.
Okay, so 3 value tests need to be succeeded in here in quick succession. Which values do you believe would connect?
I think we are looking at tell no lies, because Cynthia is giving her very clear instructions on this is what you are supposed to do if you want to succeed in this and do it correctly. Perhaps leave no one behind, because she's making sure that Ariana does not fall behind in these training protocols to get caught up with everything she needs to do. And generosity is rewarded, because if Ariana succeeds in this role, Cynthia will succeed and the conglomerate will succeed.
Okay, perfect. So tell me, for the 3 values that you're going to be testing here, whether they are good or bad, one at a time.
Yes. So tell no lies is good, leave no one behind is bad, and generosity is rewarded is good.
Great. For tell no lies, you are rolling over anger or guilt. Which will it be?
Okay. Let's do guilt.
Okay. What's your guilt right now?
2.
Roll 1d6.
Perfect. So I need to roll over 2, right?
Yep.
3.
Okay. So you're going to move anger or fear up by 1. Which one would you like to move up?
Anger.
Great. Move it up by 1. Leave no one behind, you said was bad, correct?
Yes.
Okay, you're going to roll under fear or despair. Which would you like to roll?
Fear.
Okay, what is your fear right now?
5.
Okay, roll me 1d6.
That is a 2.
Okay, you succeed. For fear, would you like to move up anger or apathy?
Apathy.
Okay, what is your new apathy?
3.
Okay. For generosity is rewarded, remind me, it was good or bad?
Good.
Okay, you're rolling over fear or apathy. Which would you like?
Apathy.
Okay, go ahead and roll apathy.
That one's a 6. We did it.
Okay. All right.
Thank
so
God.
you need to increase guilt or despair. Which would you like to increase?
Okay. I will increase despair, which is a 4 now.
Okay. Perfect. Is anything up to a 6?
Not yet. Anger and fear are both at 5.
Perfect.
They are not yet 6.
Okay. You succeeded in doing this. So you have effectively turned that. So go ahead and check on your sheet that person is now family. And go ahead and add 2 love to your sheet. So congratulations on that. How many actions have you taken now in your work session so far?
So I went to work.
Mhm.
We introduced Ariana, or
Mhm.
noticed Ariana. And then we did extroverted affection, the platonic.
Okay.
Yeah. So I
Copy
believe that
that. So
is 3.
up to yes, up to 3 more. Did you roll 1d10? I think you still have to roll 1d10 on this last one.
I certainly do. Here's my D10. That is a 1.
Okay, copy that. So I will do something with that. What would you like to do, if anything, with any of your remaining up to 3 acts for this phase?
I would like to observe the behavior of the stranger who came up and spoke to me when I first got to work.
Okay. Go ahead and tell me what you'd like to learn.
I think the person seemed very straightforward. They definitely seemed like they were just going about protocol as they need to. But I think as Cynthia is settling in for the day, she sits down at her desk. She goes through her own notes and things that she needs to get caught up on, getting caught up on the official schedules who she is mostly responsible for. But of course, you work a desk job, you're going to get a little bit distracted throughout the day, right? Once you get caught up with everything. And I think she looks over to them to just kind of get an idea of like, how much do they actually care about this job? If that makes sense. Are they apathetic towards it? Are they super stickler for the rules? Like catching almost like a general internal vibe of trying to picture what this person's day is like just from a glance.
Sure. You take a look at them, and at first they seem inscrutable. And the more you hold their gaze, the more you see their face twitch. And after holding it just a little bit longer than they were able to hold out on, they cry out at you, at the room in general. They just scream. It's a long scream. It's a loud scream. It hurts their throat. It is cathartic. It stops.
Cynthia jumps a bit at her desk.
Ariana drops everything that they're holding.
Oh,
They also jump.
Ariana. Cynthia gets up from.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Cynthia stands up. She's going to walk over to them. Excuse me. That was very disruptive and made a number of people in the room uncomfortable.
Cannot speak. I introduce 2 more strangers who come into this space, grab them by the arms, and escort them out of the room. As they are escorted out of the room, they do not fight it. They are shaking. They have left their data pad behind. A third person, I'm now also introducing to the scene, comes in and picks up that data pad and simply stands there observing you the way that the previous person did.
Cynthia looks at them and she says, "How inappropriate.
Indeed.
Acts of catharsis should be done at home, not here."
Or not done at all.
Cynthia's going to walk back over to the desk, and she's going to sit down and look at Ariana and ask, did that startle you?
Yeah, that did.
You get numb to it after a while.
Is there anything? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, is that a good thing?
Cynthia just smiles, and I think she will continue the rest of her workday as normal. She will continue to work.
I need a one. Yeah, I just need a 1d10 for that
Yep.
last work. And then, Steve, it is on you.
8.
Good.
Okay, so Calahan obviously goes to work. Item number 1 on the docket today is to make sure that all the details line up for the official narrative about the new announcement about rationing. He finds a few statistics that aren't quite where they should be, and rephrases a few things. It is not true that 9 out of 10 district supervisors approved this plan. 9 out of 9 approved this plan. We have not heard from the 10th. Having made that clarification, he's going to send the updated language over to, as far as he's concerned, somebody in the newsroom. I kind of like the idea that it goes to Sinead just to help weave some things. Is also digging into some of the footage about how this is going over with citizens, perhaps watching some familiar footage from a certain ration distribution point, and possibly doing a little bit of research and then reporting of somebody who took a demotion very badly and is not dressing appropriately and not behaving properly and is distracting people from the positive experience that ration distribution really should be. Basically, he is dotting the I's and crossing the T's, and at some point, I think he I think he gets a phone call and refuses to pick up, and therefore gets a text message from his brother, who is very upset that how did you only send a text for Mom's birthday? We've got some family drama going on.
Did you read it?
I mean, glanced at it to see if it was relevant to anything.
Understood. This sounds like, other than that, you showed up to work and went to work. Is that accurate?
Pretty much.
Just need a 1d6 from you then, and your work phase is completed.
Keeps thinking about the barber, but I don't think he actually does anything about it.
Okay.
And that's the wrong die.
It's okay.
It was not a 1, but it's the wrong die. The right die is also not a 1.
Okay, perfect. With that, we come to the end of this work period, and you all are going to roll at the same time on 2-minute hate. 2-minute hate is what it sounds like. Big Brother shows up on camera and directs you toward an object of your ire. Now, what is going to be unusual in this situation is that one of you a conglomerate official, very favored at the moment by the conglomerate, was asked to do a special broadcast as a preamble to this 2-minute hate. So if they could do their broadcast first, what you are going to be doing in the wake of that is hearing a short message from Big Brother, after which you are going to roll a conglomerate unity value test. As a reminder, you are going to have to roll over if you think conglomerate unity is good and roll under if you think it is bad. You're going to choose one of the two emotions connected to conglomerate unity, which are fear or anger, and then you're going to let me know the outcome of that. But before that, please take it away with your special broadcast.
Yeah, with the trumpet music of the newscast that everyone has become so familiar with, and you see Sinead's voice, practiced smile, immaculate makeup and attire. Good evening, citizens. Another successful week. The latest figures from Mini Plenty show continued growth in productivity, satisfaction, and civic engagement across the universe. 9 out of 9 conglomerate officials agree with the current version of the Eurasian distribution. More citizens than ever are connected, informed, and participating in the shared experience that binds our society together. This is no small achievement. Previous generations were burdened by uncertainty. They were forced to navigate competing versions of a reality, fragmented communities, and inefficient disagreement. Today, through the tireless work of our ministries and the seamless integration of Universe, we enjoy something they never could: consensus at scale. Every day, billions of data points help refine our collective understanding. News are curated, records are updated, historical archives are synchronized. Together, we are building the most accurate version of a reality humanity has ever known. Accuracy, of course, is not static. As our understanding improves, older records are revised. As society advances, outdated interpretations are retired. Memory, like all systems, benefits from maintenance and your vigilance. Our citizens find comfort in keeping personal records. We encourage this. A healthy personal archive strengthens a healthy society. Should your recollection differ from official versions, simply remember that individual perspectives are necessarily limited, while our institution benefit from a far broader view. After all, no citizen sees everything, but all of you see something on your day-to-day lives. So, in order for the system to see everything, we encourage you, whenever you observe any discrepancies, whenever you observe any potentiality of thought crime, report to us. Because the system sees everything, it is thanks to you that it does. And therefore, it is thanks to you that the system can serve everyone. This is the promise that the universe, a world where confusion is reduced, uncertainty is minimized, and every citizen can focus on what truly matters: your individual and collective participation. So continue to engage, continue to contribute, continue to share your experiences, your thoughts, your memories. They make us stronger, and therefore, we make you stronger. And should you ever find yourself wondering whether something is true, take comfort in knowing that truth is continuously being improved on your behalf. Enjoy our program. And I do understand that I said the banned words because it was pre-written, and I take it.
Okay, perfect. With that, Big Brother does come on screen. And as Big Brother comes on screen, Big Brother is not alone. In a small box that sits at the corner, Cynthia, you see your face live. Big Brother says, "Hello, friends. I come to you on this day that should have been a celebration, this day of plenty, with solemn news. We have someone here who does not understand that family comes first. Someone who does not understand that the conglomerate is a family. That to be selfless is to put the conglomerate ahead of yourself in all things, in all parts of our lives. And so we, with love and mercy, must now bring them back to themselves. We must now show them the error of their ways. We must now make it clear that they cannot continue down this terrible path they have carved for themselves. I want you to meet this person now. And Big Brother disappears, and Cynthia, your face is live on every device around you, and you know it is live on every device across the entirety of Oceania. You hear Big Brother's voice still. Tell this person that they are scum. Tell them that they are less than scum. Tell them that they have betrayed you. Tell them that they have hurt you. Tell them that they are everything that is wrong with Oceania, that they need to be cut out like the illness that they are if they do not repent. Tell them that they are fundamentally what is wrong with what is left of the vestiges of the world that existed before the conglomerate. Tell them that they must choose progress. They must embrace the needs of the conglomerate, and they must do their part, or they simply do not deserve to live. And now I need to know the results of all of your 2 minutes hate conglomerate unity rolls, please. We're going to go Steve to Fish to Andy to Ran to Anna. And Anna, I'm going to need you to roll a couple more things for me when we get to you.
Okay.
I just need the numerical outcomes of the rolls. Steve? Sorry, and whether it's a failure or a success with that numerical outcome. So.
2 under 5.
Great. You and I'm sorry, that is good or bad?
Sorry. Yes, success.
Thank you. Fish?
5 anger success.
Great. Andy?
So I do have to ask, how does this one work? Am I supposed to roll it for conglomerate unity?
Conglomerate unity, is it good or bad for you?
It's bad.
Okay, you need to roll under fear or anger. Which one are you choosing?
I'm going to choose fear.
Okay, what is your current fear?
5.
Just roll under 5.
That's a 6, so that's a fail.
Okay, you have emotion, increase in emotion. What is your traumatic memory associated with? Your starting traumatic memory on your sheet.
Okay.
There's an emotion it's associated with.
Okay, and that one I do choose, right?
Yes, you would have chosen what the emotion was. And if the emotion is fear, then you can, well, it wouldn't matter now because you rolled a 6, so you can't get it under because you needed, you rolled it was at a 5, right? So you would still meet it, so it wouldn't matter. But otherwise, you would be able to try to get a success that way. You can take stress to succeed instead of fail. Would you like to do that?
And the other option is to take like an emotional outburst, right?
Specifically an emotional outburst related to fear, which would be you have to scream out in fear, you have tremors that you begin shaking and cannot control, or you start crying. Has to be one of those 3.
I think it would be an emotional outburst, and I'm going to choose tremors as John receives a notification on their device, one that they cannot read, but still the information is conveyed to them, that as per the nature of their work, they are they are responsible for the consequences of Cynthia's paperwork as the collateral signatory for this particular piece of information.
Understood. Ran.
I was rolling under anger at 5, and I rolled a 3, so it was a success, and I'm increasing my sadness by 1.
Thank you very much. Yeah, for the two who I moved past before, for Steve and Fish, you just need to increase one of the two associated with the emotion that you were rolling on that you rolled success. Those are your shadow emotions. If you need help identifying which ones, please let me know. Anna.
I failed.
Okay.
I needed to roll above a 5. I rolled a 3.
Okay, are you going to take stress or are you going to have an outburst?
I think Cynthia, with just how the past few weeks have been, very nearly has an outburst. But I think she pushes it down as much as she can, and I will take a stress.
Okay, so increase your stress by 1. You should have 3 stress now, if I'm remembering correctly. So future acts will have 1d6 on them until you deal with that. For you, under these circumstances, you are also going to need to roll a tell no lies test, and you are going to need to roll a silence is violence test. Tell no lies. Is it good or bad?
Good.
Okay, you need to roll over either anger or guilt. Which are you rolling
I'm
over?
going to choose guilt. It is a 2.
Go ahead.
That is a 3.
Okay, silence is violence. Is it good or bad?
Bad.
Okay, you're going to need to roll under anger or despair.
I'm going to try and roll under anger, which is a 5.
Go ahead.
That is a 1.
Okay, you succeed again. Make sure with both of those successes that you add a point to your shadow emotions. In all cases, if you take any of your emotions up to a 6, any of you, with any of these successes, you are going to have to convert that into a traumatic memory, which you can add to your sheet, and then you are going to reset it to a 3. Otherwise, it sits where it is. That is the end of the 2 minutes hate. With you having successfully made your way through the 2 minutes hate, you are able to return to your day. As this day is a day of celebrating mini plenty and mini plenty's boon to our society through rationing. The rest of the day is redirected to a compulsory rally that all of you attend, wherein Big Brother spends the rest of the day speaking to you, pontificating, sharing his wisdom, showing you more people who are enemies of the conglomerate, and celebrating the great history of Mini Plenty and how it has kept all of us safe for so long by doing its part. We make our way directly over to the sleep phase with that, skipping over lunch, second work phase, and your leisure phase. And getting into the sleep phase there, we are going over interrogations, promotions, and demotions. In this situation, what I am going to do is, Sinead, you receive a message indicating that someone has recommended you. And so you would be able to increase your trust level. However, since you are already at 5 trust, what that does is it converts into you being able to take another class act. So,
Nice.
before you send me your sheet again, please pick another class act from those available to you at the Conglomerate official level. Add it there. Let me know what it is. So that will happen. 4, you are taken in for interrogation. We will resolve that at the beginning of the next phase. Calahan. Let me see here. You also receive a recommendation for promotion. You can either increase your trust by 1, which will bring you up from bureaucrat level 1 to... Oh, no, I'm sorry. You're CO. So you also... Yeah, so you also get another class act. You're going to be able to pick one up before the next session that you play. Let me know once you know what it is. And that is it for the sleep phase. Thank you all very much. We're going to do roll very quickly. Anyone who needs to leave, please feel free to leave. You do not need to stay. It is not compulsory if you stay to answer every piece of it. We are going to do a shortened version of the de-rolling process for the on-camera portion here. Everything else will be handled after the fact. And what I would like is for everyone here to say one thing, and just give it to me in a sentence for each part here. One thing that you that you admire about your character and want to take with you, and one thing that you dislike about your character and want to leave behind. And I'm going to say, let's go in reverse order. Let's go Anna, Rand. Actually, let's let Andy go first. And if you'd like to go, you don't have to. Past that, we'll go Anna, Rand, Fish, and Steve.
Okay. I like that in whatever way they can, regardless of how difficult it is, that my character is able to openly show affection towards their son. I think that's a thing that I do like about them. I think I dislike that fundamentally, I think they are spineless. I think receiving the footage of what had happened and choosing not to do anything with it is something that I do dislike.
Okay. Anna.
I like that Cynthia was willing to stick to her guns of attempting to leave Howard, knowing what the consequences may be. I dislike that she is a bit of a shill for the conglomerate overall and will very likely try to do what she can to win back favor.
Rand.
I think I liked the poise that my character has. She's able to navigate her own space. What I don't like is, in a way, her powerlessness, which she's still working on to gain more, to be able to do more.
Fish.
I like that 4 is like doing their best for themselves, even in that tiny little act of pursuing their own curious kind of lead. They're paying attention to themselves, and they're paying attention to how they feel and keeping up with that. I dislike that they're just kind of going with their job, and that they're not like questioning much about that, at least not yet.
Steve.
Not much and everything. I think Calahan will become a more interesting character, but he is very much a company man at the moment, and don't have a whole lot of admiration for that. But
Absolutely. And not a lot for me to like about who I played tonight. But I will say I like that the barber didn't cut your throat. And I disliked everything. Being the authority, like being the authoritarian force in the room is terrible. Now, I want people watching this to know it's fun to play this game in my position. I had fun. I didn't like it, right? Like, I like the process of it, but ethically, I don't like it. Because one of the things that this game does brilliantly is really, through the instrumentalized use of gameplay, construct what I like to refer to as an altitude problem. So I'm playing a resource management game that's highly dehumanizing, and I experience that firsthand as I play my stuff, and I get little dopamine hits off of making my shit work in ways that hurt the real people that everybody else at the table plays, right? Really brilliant game design. Don't like that at all because that is a terrible feeling. Glad it wasn't worse. With that having been said, thank you, everybody. Have a great night, and we will see you on the next one.